I heard that. Mine too, hold on.
Did I hear a rockin' stone?
Bro, it's because the atmosphere is rich, so it's the oxygen level is, or maybe there's helium in the atmosphere. That's incredible.
A rockin' stone.
Hey folks, Tony Mo here, and it's December, which means the end of the year is upon us, and the holiday season is also upon us. I know, obviously tough times. A lot of us still very much living in a pandemic, isolated from our friends, our family, our loved ones. But video games have very much been the great equalizer for me during this time. They've been a way in which I can stay in touch with, friends that I already stay in touch with via online only, but also an opportunity to spend more time playing games online with friends and family who I usually get to see in person. And I know this has been a similar experience for a lot of folks. The number of friends I have online who tell me about how they've stayed in touch with loved ones by starting up Discords. Like, one of my friends has a Discord that now has 20 people, and it's pretty much everyone him and his partner know. People who they usually would play games offline with, tabletop games, and they've just been playing tabletop games, Among Us, Phasmophobia, all these games online, essentially bringing all of these people who don't usually play games online or even use computers in that way into a space they'd never been in before, so they can all stay in touch, and I think that's pretty cool. It's definitely been a very good time to have video games as something that we can all share together. So this holiday season, I wanted to spend some time featuring a few cooperative experiences, online ones that I think are just exceptional on their own, but that are also exceptional in that they provide really great experiences, really great environments to just hang out with friends and have a good time. These are games that are paced in a way where there's also downtime, if you will. Not necessarily moments where you aren't doing anything, but very much moments where the action's a little more chill and it's easy to just hang out and shoot the shit and talk and catch up with your friends and family and loved ones who you haven't, seen in person for potentially months and months and months. And so I feel at the top of that list, the first game we've got to cover, it's got to be Deep Rock Galactic for 100 different reasons. But before we go any further, let's talk about how you can play Deep Rock. Obviously, that's going to be an important thing for you if you're unfamiliar with the game and looking to pick it up to play it with your friends and family. It is available on PC in two flavors. There's a Steam version and there is a Windows Store version. It's also available on Xbox, the actual console. Now, if you want to play it on Xbox with people on Xbox, you can do that. But you can also play cross-play with people on PC with the Windows version. The Steam version is an entirely separate thing, so keep this in mind. If you buy it on Steam, you will not be able to cross-play with people on Xbox or with people on PC on the Windows Store version. The Windows Store version and the Xbox Store version are exclusive things, and the Steam version is its own separate thing. It's a little unfortunate. I wish Microsoft would get in touch with Ghost Ship and help them make cross-play across all the platforms, but just keep that in mind if you decide to pick the game up. It is unfortunately not available on any other platforms, so PC and Xbox folks, this one's very much for you. It usually runs $29.99. It's currently on sale for the next couple days for $21. Really ridiculously affordable game, especially considering there is easily several hundred hours, if not more, worth of content here. There's a promotion system. You've got 4 classes. The game has really well-refined procedural generation, so honestly, playing the same missions over and over again always does actually feel a little bit different. There's a huge amount of diversity in the actual environmental design of the game, and there's so many different ways in which difficulty scales. You've got the actual missions themselves, which do become a little bit more complex, a little bit more challenging over time. But then you've also got a difficulty modifier you can set. You've got modifiers for the missions themselves that add variants, more wall grabbies, more explodies that keep the missions fresh. And the team at Ghost Ship has just recently added 2 entirely new mission types, which I think really elevate the gameplay of Deep Rock in an entirely new direction. So why don't we just keep on doing what we're already doing here, and let's talk a little bit more about how Deep Rock works, what it plays like. If you've never heard of this game, this is a great opportunity for me to tell you what the hell Deep Rock is and what you'll be doing in it. It is very much a 1 to 4 player cooperative FPS where you play as some space dwarves. You get sent down into these massive underground locations where you're going to be mining and harvesting resources. These resources come in many different forms. You might be stealing eggs from the aliens, which will make them very upset. You might be simply mining some basic materials like morkite. And along the way, you're also going to shoot a lot of those same alien monsters. It's part horde shooter, part underground cave exploration, mining, navigation. It's a really good combination of things. And like I talked about earlier, it means that this game has some unbelievably good pacing. You are pretty much on a roller coaster ride every time you head out into the caves in Deep Rock Galactic. Things start off usually relatively calm. You're just mining, hanging out. Then a horde comes in, the shit hits the fan for a few moments, you try to survive, and then you go back to mining, exploration, sort of rinse and repeat. Depending on the mission type, some things escalate more quickly than others, depending on the difficulty. Sometimes the aliens are there right from the get-go, and things just kind of stay frantic. But again, you can really modify and tweak the difficulty at any given time to suit your needs and the needs of your group. So this is a really easy game to get into. And I think the best part of it is that regardless of what difficulty level you play on, even as somebody who's got 40 hours in the game, I don't mind playing on a really easy difficulty level to bring new people into the game, because the core of Deep Rock is just always satisfying. You don't need to be playing on the most challenging difficulty level for you personally to have fun. Shooting in this game is fun. Mining, exploration, terrain navigation, it's all just a true joy. And the personality of the dwarves and the character of Deep Rock oozes out of every single one of its orifices. It is a charming game through and through. And honestly, the thing that I said about it when I reviewed it in early access way back in 2018 was that the core of the game was already there and it was already very strong. It's just a very beautiful game. The art direction is fantastic, the weapon design is fantastic, and the 4 classes are unique and diverse. They also have a lot of symbiotic relationship potential. There are things that can be done, for example, with the engineer and the platform gun in combination with the scout and their grappling hook to help you gain access to high points inside of the caves to mine resources. There's just so much going on there. There really is like a class for everyone. You can stack classes if you want to. You can keep them all separate. You can have like 2 of one class and then 2 different classes. There's just a lot of ways in which you can play Deep Rock, but just know however you choose to play it, regardless of the difficulty you choose to play on, you are guaranteed to have a good time, because the bones of Deep Rock are just really well designed. This is also like a game for the ages, in my opinion. It will never not look beautiful, and Deep Rock is a great example of you don't need 8K, blah, blah, blah textures and ultra realism, and somebody had to spend 6,000 hours designing this weapon because it's got a bajillion polygons on it. Like, Deep Rock looks better than any game that has come out recently, in my opinion, that claims to be photorealistic, and it's not going to hurt your hard drive for it, and it's going to be timeless because of it. Deep Rock is never going to look bad. Like, this game's minimalist, quote-unquote, art direction is not really that minimalist, in my opinion. It's just stunning. Like, I can't get over how good this game looks every time I come back to it. The lighting, I think, really just showcases their art direction, their aesthetic so well. And the weapon design, man, every single time just, goes right to my heart. The team does an amazing job with this game. So, let's talk about few of the mission types you'll actually be tackling in Deep Rock. Like I said, there's some really basic stuff. There's, just going in, mining and extracting, stealing eggs from the aliens and extracting. There are also, though, 2 brand new mission types that were added just recently. One is pipelines and one is the drill dozer. Pipelines is all about mining liquid resources. So you're actually going to have a main platform that has 3 pipelines that you will build yourself to the actual resource nodes. You'll then mine that liquid resource. You're going to need to set up all 3 of your pipelines to get things going, but once you do, you'll start dealing with alien waves. They've been attracted by this mining, and they'll attempt to damage the pipelines. You'll have to go and repair the pipes. It should be noted that you can actually grind on the pipes as a means of navigation, which makes it much easier to get to those repair spots and repair them with your fellow dwarfs in those moments of rock and stone. Now, my favorite, I really like the pipelines, but my favorite new mission type is very much the drill dozer. It starts off as a basic escort mission that then culminates in this crazy, almost raid-like dungeon-style encounter where you're essentially drilling into this massive resource chunk that is in some ways sentient. It clearly has like some powers and some ways in which it can manipulate the environment, and it will start to try and throw giant rocks at you. It'll spawn these pillars, which will do damage to your driller, so you'll have to destroy the pillars by mining them and then repair your driller. It gets really chaotic, and when you play the drill dozer mission on higher difficulty levels, it is extremely tense. It definitely requires some communication and some coordination and some good setup from your team. You need to make sure you've got those supplies, the ammunition you need to stay alive in that fight. It can get real wild real fast. I love escort missions when they're done well, and having to actually fuel up the drill dozer with those fuel canisters, which, let me just say, they are a really good demonstration of that like great Ghost Ship Games design where everything just looks amazing. Pulling one of those fuel canisters out and, you know, holding it by the two handles on the side and then using it to liquefy fuel right before your eyes is so cool. It's a lovely touch, and it's a really good example, in my opinion, of just everything Ghost Ship does well and right with Deep Rock Galactic. Now, if you really get hooked into this game, like I said, you've got 4 classes you can play. There's a ton of visual customization, different beards and mustaches and hats and armor to unlock. You can modify your weapons. There's skins to unlock fire weapons. Each class has 2 primary and 2 secondary weapons to go alongside of all of their unique class kit. If you play solo, there's even a robot Bosco that you can upgrade to bring with you on solo missions to help you out. The matchmaking is fantastic. The community is fantastic. If you've got, like, say, 2 friends, or you're a solo and you're just looking to play some games online and you want a positive community where you're not afraid to matchmake, Deep Rock is totally that. I have never had, in my 38 hours of playtime in Deep Rock, had a toxic encounter. I've had some maybe slightly negative ones, but nothing toxic. The majority of the community, like 99.9% of the people, are just charming, wonderful folks who just want to help people learn how to play Deep Rock, who are very positive and open-minded, and who just always have been good people. I've just had so many great interactions in this game that I'm confident in saying the community is full of just wonderful folks. Something about the community that the game itself has managed to curate is just done a good job. So don't be afraid in that regard, in my opinion, to just jump in, meet some people, and have fun. Like I said, if you keep playing it, there's a whole promotion system. When you get a character to level 30, you'll have a string of promotion missions, which will allow you to unlock overclocks and further modifications of your equipment. It'll give you access to deep dives, which are like these, you know, multi-tier encounters that you can go through. The game can start to get really challenging and really rewarding, and there's just so many opportunities that open up as you get one of those characters to 30. And then you can go back and play the other characters and get them to 30 and experience an entirely different set of tools and weaponry and so on and so forth. Really cannot recommend this game enough. It is top of my list for co-op games this year. It is a prime example of what can be done when developers are just out here just building games that are games. They're not monetization schemes. They're not trying to turn $1 billion profit for some asshole CEO sitting in his penthouse in fucking La La Land. They're just games being awesome. Games made by awesome people in cultivating fantastic communities who just want to play for fun, and that's Deep Rock. Rock and Stone. If you don't know, check out Deep Rock Galactic. You'll learn quick enough. I hope you all have a fantastic holiday. Let me give a huge shout out to everyone on Patreon who continues to support the work here I do on the channel. If you'd like to become a Patreon starting at just $1, you can click the link down in the description below. It'll get you behind the scenes access to things I'm working on for the future of the channel. It'll also get you some ad-free videos every single month. And just thank you. Take care of yourselves, folks. Be safe. Be awesome to the people around you. I look forward to bringing you some more co-op goodness this month for the holiday season, and I'll see you around.